Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope the videos are helping you out. Today, we are going to make something, and we are going to make it a very different way. Kind of just showcasing a lot of different ways to do things that might come in handy for you in your designing processes on different items. But this one, let's just say I want to make a ring with specific size stones. And if I was to do a smart flow with it, when you flow it up there, sometimes it distorts the surface, right? And then I have to maybe rearrange the size of the stones that I want. And that's not going to be good because maybe the customer wants these specific size stones. And to make it with smart flow, I'd have to readjust everything and kind of do a lot of different things. But this way is kind of maybe a little easier way to do it, I guess. But there's a lot of extra steps in here, so bear with me. But you'll probably see a lot of different things that you might be able to use in the future as far as your designs. So let's go ahead and get going. So the first thing, I'm going to do this backwards. I'm going to lay out the stones first, not the surface. Okay. So I'm going to grab me just a gem. And I'm going to take it down. Maybe they want real small pave kind of look type stuff. So I'm going to go with the smallest I can get, and then we'll just go ahead and accept that. And again, there's a little adjustments that you have to do when doing it this way, but you'll see, I think, as we get going. So I'll just kind of drag it up a little bit and then go ahead and hit enter. And then I'll just grab that stone, go to transform, and we'll just mirror one over to the other side, the X direction, not the Y, and then we'll hit enter. Probably too far apart, but I can adjust those, right? So now let's go ahead and let's go and just grab these stones, and we'll just do a mirror from F, well, let's see, our X direction, Y direction, Z direction. No, not a mirror, not that mirror, I should say. We'll just do a normal mirror, right? So we'll take this, and we will go from F4. Well, we'll select those two, mirror, from F4, F4, and just kind of draw them out here like this. And they're kind of way too far apart, right? But that's okay for right now. Let's just leave them here for right now. And like I said, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab a circle curve, and I'll switch to my yellow. And we'll just kind of draw a circle out for a prong. And we're going to do our prongs a little bit differently, and maybe around close to 5 mm, half millimeter. And I'll just kind of bump that in just a little, and then hit enter. So we'll take that there, right? And let's see if I can mirror this. So we'll go to transform, and we'll go to mirror. X direction too. Yeah, we can do X and Y, and then hit multi. So we have them all on those, and then we'll hit enter, right? And like I said, there's going to be a lot of little small things that we're going to do in here. This one's by itself. If I select this one, it selects those three, right? So I'm going to select this one here, and actually hold down shift and control and select that one too. So that way I can grab them both at the same time, right? And then from here, what I'm going to do is turn on my snaps. I'm going to turn on my vertex so I can snap to my diamond, right? And I'll turn off near, and I'll just keep the point and my vertex on. And I'll go ahead and duplicate, and then I'll snap to the center of that stone there, and then we'll come over here and snap it right in there, and then you can just mirror it, or you can just drag it over and snap one there too as well, right? And everything is all leveled and we're good to go. Sometimes it'll take it from the QLit, but we're good. It looks okay. And maybe they're a little too far apart, so I'm going to take these here. Well, I'll hold down shift control and select these, and I'll drag them in something perhaps like this here, and it'll update those two. And then I'll shift control and select this one here, and maybe we want to drag that one in just a little bit too. And then I'll just go ahead, select this, delete, delete, and delete, and we'll just go ahead and mirror this over to the other side. There we go. That's kind of maybe the look I'm going for, okay? And then I'll just go ahead and hit enter. So we have a little gap in here, and then we have these stones laid out, right? Okay, so far so good. This point, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do this next step. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab that yellow, all the yellow there, and we're just going to drag that up maybe a little bit to the top of our stone here, something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that little ball there and extrude that surface down, right? And I want it down quite a bit because this is going to be like the depth of the ring, and I can adjust all this. So that's 1, 2, we'll take it down to 2.5. Just give it a little extra surface there, right? And then I'll just go ahead and select all that, and I will type in CAP and hit enter. So we have it all capped, and I'll give it some shading, all right? Now I'll select this and we'll just switch it to green so I can go ahead and select all this yellow, and then I'll just delete it, or not, I'll just turn it to gray and then hide it because we don't need it right now. And as I said, we're going to do some strange things in this video. So there's my prongs, right? But they're, you know, they just don't look like prongs, right? They're kind of not real well set up there. So we're going to switch to our bright green here. I'm going to keep my, take that, I'm going to go to center snap on, vertex off, and then my quad snap. I'm going to turn that on, right? And then I'm going to go to my solids and grab me a ball. All right, and now when I kind of hover over, you can see that line go in the middle there. I'm just going to click, and then I'm just going to snap to one of the quads, and now I have a prong. All right, and I'll just do this, like I said, to each one to get the tops of my prongs on there, right? So this is just a different way to do it. Sometimes it might come in handy depending on what you're working on. So I thought I'd show it off. And we'll just go in here and go there, right click, bring it back, go here, snap to that quad, and then right click, bring it back, snap to that quad, and then we're done. Not that hard, difficult, right? It just gives me a nice little prong now to work with, right? Now what we can do is go to Boolean Union, and we can select all that green and hit enter as our first surface, select all those little balls and then hit enter. And then we have nice little prongs. I'll go ahead and select all that green there and just switch it to gray. We don't need it anymore. And we have 2 of these out here. So what we're going to do is type SELDDUP all, select dupes all, and it says no dupes, but we know there are. So we'll take this group and we'll go ahead and switch them to another color. We'll select all our green and we'll turn them to gray as well. And I'm just going to switch those back to, well, we'll go ahead and switch them to purple since they are prongs, right? So now we have some prongs out there. Okay, so that should be okay. And if you wanted to, you could, you know, bring them up just a little, depending on what you want, how deep you want the prongs. But I'll just go ahead and leave that there for right now. And now we'll go back to all our viewports. Excuse me, got a little cold going on. And what we're going to do is we're going to go grab another curve. This time we're going to grab an ellipse, and I'll start from my center, and I will turn off snap so I have a nice smooth, I don't have to worry about snapping anything. And I'll hold down shift, and we'll say we want it to come out to about here, and then we want it to come up to about, let's get a look at here, get it kind of close to the same as the other one, and we'll go there. So we've got that. That'll be our little ellipse for our item there, right? Now, you know, this area here, if you wanted to, you could add another prong, add another prong, add another prong, you know, just kind of select one of those pretty much. Shift to control, select one, and then kind of duplicate it from a certain point and just kind of bump it over if you wanted to. You could even kind of bring it to that stone there. Oh, I'm just grabbing the, okay, so let's shift control. We want the prong poly surface, not just one of the pieces of it. And let's see, let's turn on our snaps so we can kind of maybe get to the center there. And then just kind of bring it over. Are my grid snaps? No, okay. Let's turn off snaps now. So I got a nice smooth area. Hold down shift. We don't want to hold down shift. So it's going to drop it a little low for us, but we can kind of get an idea. And then we'll put it there. And then we'll just come in here, select it, and bump it up to the same as our others. Right? Pretty close to the same. Yeah. Right about there. And then we can just go to our transform, go to mirror. And we can turn on Y and go to multi, and it'll snap that same prong all the way around. So we have something like this, right? So it's a nice full look for our where our stones are going to be, right? Okay, so we have this, right? And now we're going to grab this curve here. I'm going to, we'll leave it there for right now. And go to curve, offset. Offset, where's my, there it is, offset. And I want to take it out to 0.5. I want a nice thick rail there going around, right? I'm going to take this one, turn it to red. I'm going to take this one and turn it to yellow. Okay, so we have these out here, right? Now what we want to do is we want to take the yellow one and we want to bump it up a little bit more than normal. Okay, I have a 0.6 in there. Let's go 0.7 just to be safe. And then hit enter. So it'll bump that curve up, right? And then I'll select that curve. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab that curve there, or that ball, and just drag it down to give me a surface just past my prongs, just a little bit. And then click off it, click on my surface, CAP, and enter. And then I'll just leave that there. Yeah. Okay, now I know I have that other curve is red, right? And that's right there with my stones. So I want to take that surface down just a little bit past my gemstones, right? So that my gemstones are has a little depth there. And then I'll select off that real quick because I want the ball back. And then I'm going to take this surface and then drag it up to around there. And then I'll select that surface, change it to my cutting layer, and then I'll CAP that as well. All right, so we have that. Now we can go to our solids and we can do a Boolean difference. Select this as our first surface, enter. This, you notice neither one of these are green because watch, and then enter. It turns it to green, right? So now I can just go ahead and select this, turn it to gray, select this and turn it to gray, and it gives me my surface there, right? And it's they're deep down in there, but you'll see why in a second here. All right. And at this point we don't need that yellow curve anymore, so we're going to go ahead and change that to gray, keep everything organized and cut up. All right, now you can go ahead and, well, I wouldn't do it yet, but oh, there's a red curve in there, so let's grab that. We don't need that as well. All right, so we have that, right? Let's go to all viewports and let's set this up so I can get a good look at what's going on here. Okay, and now I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to grab me a ring rail, right? Now, like I said, if I put it on flow, it would distort that this surface would be pulled right and left a little bit more, so it'd be more oblong, and my stones and prongs would be different on there as well. So this is just a different way to do it. So I'm going to take oh, we need to accept that ring rail. I'm going to take all this and then I'm going to drag it up to the top here and see how deep I want. I want it about a little over 2. So something 1, 2, and a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Something like that. It's probably okay. And no big deal. All right, so I have it up there on my ring rail, right? Now I'm going to take, I can take everything, it doesn't matter. I can do it now or later. Do a transform, and I'm going to do an array on here. And let's try 17 to start. And we comes around there. Yeah, I have a little bit sticking out here, which I don't particularly care for. So let's go in here. Let's see what 16 does for me. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. I don't have that surface sticking through, so I don't have to deal with that, right? But everything else is joined up pretty good. They're overlapping just slightly at the top, and they're majorly overlapping at the bottom. So everything will join together very good, hopefully. So I'll just go ahead and say that's what we want right here, and we'll go ahead and hit enter. Okay. Uh, and now we get, if this is the kind of look you're going for, that's pretty cool. But we're going to keep on playing around with it. The first thing we'll do is go ahead and we'll grab that ring rail, right? We'll take care of this inside first. I'll go to my solids. And we will go to extrude planar straight, and we'll just take that out to there. I'll turn that to my cutting layer. And then now what we'll do is do a Boolean difference from our green surface, which would be a first surface. Enter, select our cutter, enter, and enter. And I should have probably cut those prongs too, so let's go ahead and do that because those are way too deep in there. I'll go ahead and recall that and then select my I shouldn't have probably dragged them down so far. Select my purple there and hit enter, and then select this and enter, and then wait for it, and then enter, right? Okay. Yeah, there we go. And this we'll just get rid of. We don't need it anymore. And these should be, yeah, okay, those we want to go ahead and get rid of. These we'll just go ahead and change back to our purple. And they're okay. They're fine. So let's see. Should we go ahead and Boolean any of those? Well, first of all, we got this original surface out there. We don't need that. We'll turn that to gray, so everything else is there. You could do the Boolean union if you wanted to at this point. First surface would be all of these, and then second surface would be this, and then enter, and then that'll take a little time. Oh, there, I got a double there, that's why. Okay, so we'll back out of that, and it looks like there's a double one right there, so we'll delete that. Any others? Let's hide these. No. Okay, maybe it'll work this time. So let's go Boolean union. Let's take this, enter. Let's take this, enter. And it blew. Oh, probably because there's shared surface there. So let's go back. Oh, no, we don't have to. Let's go back forward. Keep that Boolean union. All right. So we can deal with that real easy. So let's go ahead and take care of that. I shouldn't have drag those prongs down so far. So let's go ahead and deal with that thing first. Let's go ahead and grab a circle, and I'll switch to yellow, and we'll go here, and we'll just kind of, let's see, where's our bottom? Right in there. Take that yellow, go to right click here, go to extrude straight, and we'll just drag this out here. Give it some shading, and we'll do a Boolean difference just to get rid of those prongs there real quick. This will be our first surface, enter. This will be our second surface, enter. And wait for it, and then enter. And go ahead and get rid of that cutter, and now we have all our prongs cut off, so I don't have to worry about them, right? Bing. There we go. Easy way to take care of that, right? And we still have our top surface that's kind of jacked up, right? So let's go take a look at this here real quick. Okay, it's not overlapping anywhere. Everything looks okay. All right, so we'll go to our front, and we'll turn on wire. And this yellow curve here, this one right there, we'll just go ahead. Well, I'll just make a new one. Be easier for me. Snaps are off. Grab a circle. Go to F4, and this time I'm going to go out to the top here and kind of find out how deep I want these to be. Maybe somewhere something like that should be okay. And then I'll go ahead and grab that curve. And we will go back to, or just right click down at the bottom of our command line and hit extrude. All right, and this time we want to go to our solids and do a Boolean intersection. Okay, so the first surface will be our green there, enter, and then our yellow, and then enter. And that should get rid of everything. And then we'll hit enter. And I'll go ahead and grab that yellow surface, just delete it, and grab that yellow curve and kind of hide it. We don't need it anymore. And now we have a rounded surface. And let's take a look, see what it did for us. Okay, it looks like it did not make everything the same. So what we're going to have to do, I mean, it didn't make that cutout for us. So if we explode it, or ungroup it rather, we get these individual pieces, right? Sometimes it'll actually go ahead and do all the extra stuff too. So what we'll do from this one is we'll just grab, so we have two here. Do we have two on every? Just that one. And they're both the same. So we'll grab one of them and hide it because it causes issues. Yeah, okay. All right, so what we'll do is we'll grab this one, hold down shift, every other one, right? Every other one, and we'll change it to a different color, right? And now what we'll do is Boolean union. This here will be our first surface, and this here will be our second surface. And then give it a second, and then enter, and we have this. So I'll hide that, and yep, it's only one surface out there, so we're good to go. All right, so we got something like this going on. I'm not real fan of these curves, right, or straight edges, but I mean, if that's something you like, you can go ahead and continue. You can go ahead and make a cutout in these little things with some kind of a design. That's perfectly good. You can also do kind of hollowness if you wanted to, right? But I'm going to keep on working on this here. It's a thin band for the most part, so we're just going to keep it solid here for me. And now what I'll do is, since we have a solid, let's just check it, make sure. Close poly surface, close poly surface, close poly. Keep on checking. Sorry. We'll go to our solids here, and we'll just scroll down here to a fillet edge, and we'll do a fillet edge. We're at yellow, so that's fine. And I'm going to select all these little edges right here on my item. I'm only going to do it on one side. But select all those little edges right where they're kind of where they join together, right? Okay, and I have it at 0.1, which is extremely thin. So I got a preview, yes. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, which it'll probably work fine, but that's not what I want. I want it more. So I'm going to go ahead, click in here, and let's just see what it looks like with a full 1 millimeter on there, and then hit enter. So we got something like this, and we'll just go ahead. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, we'll just, you can change that, whatever. I mean, you know, I'll just keep going forward. So we got that there, right? So now we have a nice little smoother kind of wavy type thing going on versus this real sharp edge, right? Which is, you know, to me kind of looks a little bit more feminine, maybe. But like I said, I'm just going to do the one side, all right? Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and right click, bring that back again. And this time I'm going to go in here and just select all these circles, because I want those to have a little roundness to it, not so straight, right? Again, that's totally up to you. If you like the straightness of those, that's fine. I'm just going to round them up a little bit. So I'll go through and select all those little pieces or edges on the inside there. And we have it at 0.1, which is going to blow like a maniac on that because we only extruded it at 0.5, right? So preview, yes. Let's just go ahead and hit enter for right now. And it'll definitely blow on us. which we knew, but that is pretty cool. You could actually start designing something from that. But we'll go ahead down here to set all, and I'll type it in to maybe a 0.2. Let's see what that looks like. See what that kind of does for us. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's all right. So I'll just go ahead and say 0.2 is what I want, and hit enter, and wait for it to join all that together, and then click, and we have an open poly surface. So something kind of went hinky here. So let's see how bad it is, if it's something we can fix real quick, or if it's something that we want to go back and totally redo. Show edges, go to wireframe. Here, enter. Yeah, that's a lot to go back and redo. So let's back out of this step here real quick. And let's do that fillet one more time. Solid. Instead of a 0.2, let's try a 0.1. So select the edges. Preview set to yes. So boom, boom, boom. Just go back and select those edges. I mean, it's probably not a big deal. It's just a little extra time to go back and fix all those naked edges, but it's probably pretty easy to do. Select each individual edge, and we're at a 0.2. We know that's going to work, but it's not going to work, right? It's going to give us naked edges right in here somewhere. So let's go ahead and we'll go to set all, and we'll try a 0.1 and take a look at that. And yeah, that's probably much better. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit enter. And let's select our item, and now we have a closed poly surface, and we have little rounded edges going off around there so far. Okay, so far so good. Let's go back to that, a lot of cleanup, a lot of different things that we want to do, make it look a little bit more softer, right? And this time we're going to chain edges, and we're going to select this one, and it automatically will select it all. And we have it set at, I think it was a 0.1 or something like that, right? So it's rep preview, yes. So 0.1, let's kind of bump that up to maybe a 0.2. Well, first, let's see, where do I, preview, yes. So let's go ahead and hit enter, and it'll give us our preview. Working on it, and there it is. That's kind of a little too small, maybe probably okay, but let's bump it up, see what it does. 0.2, and hit enter, and it'll give us our preview. Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit better. And let's see what it does for us. So we'll hit enter. And it's got all those pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's quite a few there. So let's go ahead and select it. And we have a closed poly surface. So we are good to go. So now we have this side pretty much all smooth. Oh, that in there we should probably do to the bottom of our shank. So I'll right click, bring that back. We'll go to chain edges again. We'll select this edge right here, and we're lucky it clicks it all. And we'll just keep that at a 0.22. Actually, let's bump, well, we're at a preview, yes. So we'll take a look at the preview here. We'll go ahead and hit enter. See what it does for us. But there's a lot of little surfaces there. It's got to go back. And let's go ahead and see what it does. Let's bump it up to 0.5 and see what it does. It could blow. We don't know. We'll find out. And it's got to calculate all those faces there. And actually that looks, I think, much better. But it may or may not work. Let's go ahead and see. Let's take it. So it'll join all those together for us. All right, and we'll select our surface, and we're good to go. How about that? So we have everything fillet. We have our inside here filleted. We have our there fillet. Everything is filleted off except for that one side, right? So we'll go to our front now. And front, we'll go to our surface planer. We'll switch to cutting layer, and I'll just draw a plane out there, right? This is just a quick way to do it. And I'm going to go ahead and select all my green, and I am going to just split it right down the middle with this thing here, and then hit enter and get rid of that. And then I should be able to click over on this one side and delete it. Click on this side, and we'll just do a parametric mirror in the X direction, not the Y, and then hit enter. All right, and I should be able to take those two and join them together and check it, and we have a closed polysurface. So we are good to go. That's pretty much very nicely done, right? Very quickly. And everything's all joined up there. Now, okay, so we have all this out there, but we want to give it that antique-ish type look, right? So we want mill grain or balls going around everything, right? Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is, you can see there's a little edge there from that fillet, and there's the edge down here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the curve, and we're going to, that's parametric dupe. I'm just going to do a normal dupe edge. And then I am going to, this one we might have to go through and select everything. I don't know which view would be best. Maybe this one. Select that edge, select that edge, and then just go through here and select all those edges going around. Actually, I don't have to. So let's go back. Let's get rid of that one, get rid of that. I just want it from here over. Well, I guess I can, yeah. Okay. So it goes from that edge to that edge. That should be, it looks like it's kind of off though. Not totally centered. Okay, we'll just see what we can do with this here. I'll just go ahead and hit enter. And I think that's this color, right? So I am going to, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to offset that curve, right? Offset that curve on surface, and I'm going to select this surface. Not that surface. This surface. Okay, so it's not letting me select that surface. So what I'm going to do is go to solids, go to extract surface. That'll be this one. Not that one. Ooh, I'm digging deep in there. Let's grab the, yeah, that surface is the one I want, and then hit enter. Okay, so I extracted this surface, right? So hopefully what I can do is I can take that, oh, it's not joined together. Okay, so let's grab all this and join it together. And then I'll take that curve, and we'll try that offset again here real quick. Offset, oh, surface, we want curve, offset on surface, and we'll select that little surface there. Select curve on surface, that will be this one, and select base surface. This one, wrong direction, flip, and let's see, let's do through point, and I'll just kind of try and pick the mid there, right there, and it'll draw me a line out there, right? And then hit enter. Okay, and then we'll keep this one. We'll take that curve and turn them to gray just in case. So I have this here, right? Let's go ahead. That surface is still extruded, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab all green so I know that it should be all back together again, and we are. So okay, so I'll grab that curve there and go to my solids and go to my objects on curve. So I'm going to get select curve, this one here, hit enter, and we have our little balls out here, right? And I should be able to kind of get them to where I want. Let's see, we want them pretty close to the center there, and maybe over here. We'll see if this works. And then my spacing, I'll just bump them a little closer. I want my spacing a little bit closer. And let's check the depth here. Maybe a little bit bigger. And we'll close it up just a little. All right, something like that, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah, that looks okay, maybe. So we'll go ahead and hit enter. Now these we'll go ahead and take and turn to our purple so we know that they're not joined. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that group, and I think what it will do is give me one here and here all the way around. So I'm going to ungroup these. I'm going to hold down Control, deselect this one and this one. Perhaps, and then join them back together, right? And then I'm going to go to my transform and go to my polar array. And then I can't remember what it was. Was it 17 or something? Okay, so some of those, it's that one is kind of not going in. Let's go back to 16. Got a little gappage there, which I don't like. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, so let's back out of that. Yeah, it's kind of not exactly giving me what I want. I mean, I could go in there and move the balls around individually to get them exactly where I want them, but it may be too much work than I want to do. So let's go ahead and back out of that. So we have these here. And let's see. Let's take them all just for sake of this one, just to see what it looks like if I take them all. Group. And that one there, and then let's do that polar array, see if this will, what was it, 17? No, 21. No. 16. Yeah, see, 16 is okay. It gives me a double out there though, but that's looking better, a lot better. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just say enter on that one just for right now. And let's just, okay. So I'm going to go through here, select that surface and delete it. Grab this one. Nice thing about solids is we can go here and we can actually move it to where we want, right? And let's change that one to a different color here real quick. Let's change it to red. Well, let's hit enter. Change it to red, and that purple one, oh, that purple one. Shift Control. Oh, that. Delete. Okay. All right. So, kind of not what I want here. All right, so let's go ahead and undo that. Not liking it, so getting picky here. Undo, and let's see. We'll grab this here and delete those as, oh, not that curve. Want that curve for right now. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. All right. So we still have that curve going around there, right? So what we can do is we can go back in and let's see. Curves. go to, oh, not that one. Let's drop down this. Extrude curve on surface. Let's abort this one here. So select curve to extrude this one. Hit enter. Select surface that curve is on. Oh, fail. Okay, so, all right. It's not going to let us extrude because it's not part of that surface. So what we're going to have to do is go back in here and dupe that edge again. This one here. And we'll go ahead and dupe this one as well. And then hit enter. Okay. And now what we need to do is go and extract those surfaces here. Extract this surface and this surface, and then hit enter. And I'm just going to change those so we know they're different colors, or not joined yet. And then we'll grab that curve, and I think it was offset at a oh, I picked it, didn't I? So that's okay, we can do that. Offset right here, offset on surface, offset on surface. We'll do through point. Select base surface, and I'll try to see if I can snap it to that in there. Ah. Oh, shit, almost. Close, no cigar, huh? That's okay though. It should be, let's grab this curve here. Let's delete that one, we don't need it. And we'll grab this one here. Offset, select base surface here, and we'll get as close as we can to that one. Through point. It's not letting me select it. Select base surface here. Through point, select. Okay, so let's grab this curve. Offset on surface, this surface, that's what we want. Through point. Why aren't you offsetting for me, brother? Doesn't want to offset. Okay, well, we'll just see about dragging it out there. Okay. All right, so we have these two out here curves, right? They're not going to join, of course, because they're not butted up, right? So if I try to join them, it'll say two curves joined into one curve. Oh, wow, they joined. Cool. Okay. These will not, though, right? But what I can do, I can cheat. Nothing wrong with cheating every once in a while. So let's go in here and do a blend from that curve there to that curve there, right? And let's take all of this and join it together, okay? So we have that. We're cheating a little, but hey, you know. So we'll grab all this, and we'll join that back together. And that's kind of bright, so close polysurface. All right. So now let's see if we can line this up where we can not have to go through there and do the whole surface. Solids, object on curve, my little balls. So we'll drag it down, try and get it right around that edge, right? And I think the best perspective would be is our top, right? So let's go ahead and first get them to our size that we kind of want. Kind of check out our size here, right? Okay, yeah, that's not bad. All right, and maybe right in there perhaps. what I'm trying to do is trying to get it so that I can visualize the center right there. I don't need them exactly, but as close as possible. Roll I don't need. As close as possible would be best, right? So got those there. And let's just go ahead and say that's what we want. Let's change those to purple real quick, and then let's go in and do the transform polar array, and we'll get out here and kind of bump it up 14, 15, 14. 19's way too much. Got a big mess right in there. So let's take it to 17. Still got a little mess, but I think if we got rid of one or two of those balls, it might. Let's go to 16 just to see what it looks like. Ooh, much better. Yeah, 16 looks good. We have one in there, or two maybe, that we have to deal with. So let's go ahead and grab that. Right here, let's just, let's see. Shift Control, grab one of those, and we'll just take that one and delete it. I'll say that's acceptable. And let's see which one. Shift Control, grab that one there, and we'll delete that one as well. Right, and you probably have to do that to all those little edges right there. Right, pick one of them. Shift, but it's a lot better than having to go through there and pick them all out. Right. Actually, you could just leave them. It's not going to be that big of a deal too. So, you know, that would be okay too, actually, because it really doesn't look much different. I mean, they're so small anyway. Let's see, Shift Control. So you can go through there and pick all those out if you wanted to, and delete them, or just really, it's not really going to show up that much big difference, really. And okay, so we have all that on there. Now all we have to do is take that group, and we need to mirror it, X direction on, Y off, and hit enter. Okay. Enter. All right, so we have that, but we still have this area here that kind of looks kind of jinky, right? So this is real easy. We just go back to our solids, and this time we do object on surface, and then we'll just pick this surface here, and it puts a massive ball out there for us. And we need to, well, first let's get rid of this one here. So we'll delete that one. I'm trying to grab this handle here, and we'll just kind of make it down to the same size as our other balls there for the most part, and kind of drag it in. Something like that. Go ahead and put one here, and go ahead and add one right there. And we can kind of manipulate those over a little bit, or however, wherever you want them on there, right? By just clicking on that little white dot and dragging them around so you can get them exactly where you want them. And then just go ahead and hit enter, and then we'll take those and, well, we'll leave them green. Well, we'll switch them to red so we can kind of see them. And then what we want to do is go back to our transform, polar array, and I think it was 16, 17. Maybe not 17. Yeah, they're a little off, so we'll go back 16. Yeah, there we go. It lines them all up. Hit enter. And we'll take those balls and turn them to purple as well, right? So there we go. Now we have it all laid out. You can actually make one of those bigger so it kind of looks like it blends in. That would be pretty cool. And then there we go. We're pretty much done. Just a Boolean union and do our cutouts as far as our gemstones and stuff. Cutters, protrude them through. Let's go here. No, it's not going to cut my prongs because they're not joined yet, and we'll just kind of bump that up a little bit. Make that hole a little bit bigger. Yeah, something like that perhaps. Get some shading. Take a look. That looks okay. And we'll hit enter. And then do our, let's make sure we're still... Yep, okay. Boolean difference. Select first surface, enter. Second surface, enter. That's a lot of cutouts there, so give it a few seconds. Go ahead and hit enter. And you have the little cutouts and check. Let's see, this is the cutout. That's not, so let's get rid of that one. Check our surface, close poly surface. Now, there's still a lot. I mean, you could, of course, you want to Boolean union these together, but those holes, right? Just giving you more examples of things you can do. Maybe you don't like those holes being all straight. You could sit there and fillet. Just go, well, let's back out. Let's go to chain edges. So it just gives us everything, right? Well, if we do it all, right click. If you do chain edges, you have to do it. That one is in a bad spot, but go through, pick all those just to give it a little more cleanup, right? It's just something that you could do, and then we have it yes, so you can get a look at it. It's going to blow, set all, take it down pretty small. You don't need them, just to maybe so they don't pinch the customer's finger or something. Hit enter. Broke history, no big deal. And we still got a close poly source, so you can go through and put little indentations in there, make it nice and smooth for them or whatever. But there you go. There's just a real simple band. It's very easy to do. So hopefully this helps, and if it does, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and good designing.